Ali, 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 yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islamism without the schism. On a rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us come forth with our ancient committee and adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and minds as we open up the way by calling forth our beloved brother Marvin Nathaniel Evans Bay, Islam.
Islam family, and I'm Dr. Marvin Evans Bay out of Texas, rising, giving all praise to the great God Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give our honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give our honors to our Ag 1. Give our honors to all of our officials. I give our honors to this class, our Egyptian Baptist Research Sultanate class, also known as our ears class. So I give honors to everything that's Moorish, and our instructor, and all those on the panel, and those that's in the audience. And I will be opening our meeting according to law, and I will begin with our Egyptian adapted Moorish American prayer. Ya Allah emnuheru mekuneteru. Ya Allah ebheteru. Ya Allah ma'atheru. Ya Allah hoteperu. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'ather kuti. Ya Allah awadet de juti. Ya Allah patem sutek patem heru. Ya Allah bamaduti. Al hedges reyab huali. Amen. Holius. 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 In transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Holy Issa, Holy Issa, Holy Issa. And now I'll be reading our divine constitution of America. Salvation, our God, Unity. The Divine Constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are in power to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known for the citizens of Moorish America. The Bylaws. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meeting and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. His sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessing be upon him, founding father and frame of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. Now this meeting has been opened according to the Circle 7, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I will now hand the meeting over to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Ali Okurta Bay. Islam?
Islam, 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 Islam family. I am Dr. Dendra Ali Okurta Bay, National Assistant Grand Secretary of State. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act 1. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, who hosts this beautiful class every Sunday morning. And I give honors to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for opening us up according to law. And at this time, I will be reading our new chapter of the week, coming from our Holy Quran, chapter 1, the creation and fall of man. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yea, from the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body, nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Creative faith gave to spirit man, a soul that he might function on the plane of soul, gave him a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. Why did creative faith give to spirit man a soul that he might function on the plane of soul? Why did creative faith give to soul a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest? Hear now, ye cherubim, ye seraphim, ye angels and ye men. Hear now, O protoplasm, and earth, and plant, and beasts. Hear now, ye creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders, and ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirit of the fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be. For wisdom speaks from out the highest plane of spirit life. Man is a thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time, for the things that are concerned with time begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come. And so is man, the spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself the potencies of Allah. Just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that special plant, so spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now, seeds are perfect, yea, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was full ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth his human seed into the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul, and he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifest, the perfumes and the odors, the true sensation, and the all of love manifest. And these soul attributes became a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundary of the plane of soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still. And then the essence took on a final God. The perfumes and odors and the true sensation and the all of love were clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. Perfect man perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. And so a carnal was full manifest, a nature that sprung forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the of Allah and made strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, a protoplast, a mineral, a plant, a beast, but he gave up his birthright just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, he must suffer trials and tribulations and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the station of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah who rule the solar stars are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man was conquered, when man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will then have served its purpose well, and it will fall, will be no more. Then he will stand untrammeled on the plane of soul, where he must full complete his victories. Unnumbered foes will stand before man upon the plane of soul. These he must overcome, yea, overcome them every one. This hope will ever be his beacon light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah is leading on and victory is sure. Man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah, and while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have full open out, will have unfold in the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose well, and man will need it nevermore, and it will pass and be no more, and man will then attain unto the blessedness of perfectedness and at one with Allah. Islam, Islam, Islam. Thus I have read chapter 1, the creation and fall of man. Now we'll turn everything back over to our host, our National Assistant Grand Sheik, Dr. Sadu Amiti El Maheji Sepsuel. Are you there, God man?
Islamism is close as a love thought. Can you hear me, goddess and queen?
Islam, I can hear you well.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Want to rise once again upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session. Ears. I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Al-Mohadi Shabazz El. And my ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shida Waminti El Mohajid Shepsuel. And we have a powerful measure to bring forth to our Moorish kin this morning. So we ask that our family have their paper and their pen on handy. You know, we will actually be dealing with the ancient Egyptian Demotic Egyptian script, second Shat. You know, MATHENO'S lesson 2C. And so this is a powerful droid. And we can't wait to see what our scribes have to bring to us. We are breaking the surface in regards to dealing with the Demotic script, and mashallah, everyone will be in participation with us so that you can unfold as well. So without further ado or delay, we're going to go and call our scribes up in here so we can get started with the assignment. Islam?
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curta Bay. You have the floor.
Islam. I'm going to go head on and jump on out here. Islam, family. Let me get everything set up to share what I have to share this morning. Let's see. Okay, share. All right, and can y'all see my screen? Because as I was working on this thing, I don't know, it went to a different thing, but I know I need to blow it up so y'all can see.
We got you in the queue, Islam.
Islam. Okay. What did I do there? Okay. All right. I made the screen bigger. I don't know. What did I do? Okay. Let me do that. Go back here. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to have to do this. All right. I think that's it. All right, family. Our assignment was to refamiliarizing ourselves with the Shat and Shat, also known as the Demotic strip. And we was to give a brief history concerning the origin of the Demotic strip. And what I did, I went back and definitely went back to the playback and listening to everything that we went over last week, and just familiarizing myself with the Demotic strip and everything. And what I did is I Googled also, just to see what they had to say. Dr. Shaheed did an excellent job on explaining everything to us last week in our class, and I encourage our Moorish kin to go back and listen to that playback if you are interested in learning and keeping up with us. Go back and listen to it. I think it's going to be the one that will say 6 days out or 7 days out, and because that was a powerful demonstration that we did last week. And so just to add to that, of course, some of it I had the same thing, but that we said last week. But I did Google the meaning of the Demotic strip, and it says the Demotic strip is a very cursive development from hieratic, a stylized version of the hieroglyph script used since the 3rd millennium BC to allow faster writing, mostly with brush and ink on papyrus and ostraca. And I also wanted to know, what was the origin of the word demotic? And it said that demotic derives from the Greek word demotikos, and it says that the Greek word is first used by Herodotus to describe the cursive writing system of the Egyptian in his day, 5th century. And I don't agree with that. But and also I wanted to know, I looked up, what was the purpose of the Demotic? And, just seeing what they're saying. And they said by the 5th century BCE Demotic script, which the Egyptians called Shat, meaning writing for documents. That's kind of close. Had come into use everywhere in Egypt for business and literary purposes, although hieratic remained in use for religious texts, and that's got some truth in it. And then also I looked up another one, just trying to see what was the purpose, what was they saying, what was the purpose of Demotic. And they also said that in the late period, Demotic was limited to administrative, economic, and legal documents, but it began to be used in the Greco-Roman period for literature, religious treaties, science, and other documents. And so we can see how the European was dealing with this. And also I want to know, where did the Demotic script come from? And it said that Demotic appeared to have started in the Delta region, where the royal family of the 26th dynasty originated. Under the Side administration, it became the standard for documents countrywide, relegating hieratic script for the most part to non-documentary texts. And so also I wanted to know what does Demotic mean in ancient Egypt, because all those meanings was coming from basically what the European had said. And so they were saying that it mean in ancient Egypt, they were saying that the designation Demotic is first found in Herodotus, who called it, and I can't pronounce that big word there, y'all. So, but anyway, it's the script of the people, the script used in daily activities instead of the sacred hieroglyphic script used in monuments. In Egyptian, it was designated as letter writing, which highlights its use as an administrative script. And so that's what I had dealing with and looking at and just giving the origin of the Demotic script. And like I said, it'll be great if our family who out there listening go back and listen to that playback. But what I wanted to point out in this class, and I'm going to use some of y'all might be familiar with him, Dr. Walter Williams, and I'm going to use some things out of his book just to show you who you are putting your trust in when you start believing what the European has said about our teaching. And I wanted to read this. I wanted to read this to you. Now, it don't have nothing to do with the Demotic script, but I want you to see, everybody who's listening to me out there, I want you to see what kind of people you're dealing with and how they do stuff. And so I hope y'all can see that, because I had to, like I say, it's coming out of his book, Walter Williams' book, and it says it started with the invasion of Alexander the Greek in Egypt in 332 BCE, at which time he removed the existing Pharaoh governor and put himself in his place. At the same time, he demanded that the ancient Egyptian priest society relate to him as God and give him priest status and accept him into their sacred institution. Now, see, that's what they do, and which would have given him legitimacy. His demands were rejected because the ancient Egyptians did not worship human form. They paid homage to their ancestors and nature. Look at this is the way we did stuff, but look how they want to try to do stuff. Then come in there and invade our land and stuff. Oh man. Oh, let me finish reading. I'm getting excited here. It say they paid homage to our ancestors. They paid homage to their ancestors and nature. This is talking about us. You know how they call us savages and stuff? No, we wasn't. We was very intelligent. And it says they were also in tune. This talking about us, y'all. Your ancestors, they were also in tune with universal spiritual consciousness, a direct spiritual link with the creator. That's you. That's your ancestors right there. And then it says Alexander and later the Ptolemies and the Romans knew that in order to rule Egypt and its people, they had to be accepted and made part of the ancient Egyptian sacred society. Let me get to the other page. Sacred society. It says, however, the ancient Egyptians considered Alexander. Now look, our ancestors looked at this is the way they thought about him. It say, however, the ancient Egyptian considered Alexander a spiritually out of tune, uncivilized European alien, and therefore his efforts were rejected. We didn't. We looked at him like, who you? You know. And it says also there is no evidence to suggest that the ancient Egyptians accepted persons of other races or cultures into their sacred priest society. And thus Alexander demanded that they receive him as a god was the world's first form of European racial supremacy. And I'm reading this, y'all, to try to show you who you dealing with when you take what the European are saying about our language, our writing, all of our knowledge on the pyramids and everything. When you take their word for stuff, this is who you dealing with right here. You see how they doing? And it says at the time of Alexander's death in 323 BC, Ptolemy the First, also called Soter, took over the rule of Egypt. And he said, it is very important to know that the word Soter means savior. I'm trying to show y'all how these people do. I know this don't have a lot to do with the Demotic, but it do, because I'm showing you the type of people you're dealing with, and you putting your trust in them instead of trusting us and knowing and do your research and knowing that we are telling you the truth. And a lot of y'all out there who listen to me, I know y'all know Dr. Walter Williams, especially if you was in that conscious movement. And it says, it is very important to know that the word Soter means savior, a title given to Ptolemy the First, likely as a result of his military conquest. The word savior plays a significant role in the evolution of the created image called Jesus Christ and the man-made non-spiritual religion called Christianity. Ptolemy the First, Soter, like Alexander, also tried to get himself accepted into the ancient Egyptian priest society. He was also rejected for the same reason as Alexander. At this time in history, 320 BCE, Ptolemy I, Soter, sought out and found a council. Watch this now. Look what he did. He sought out and found a council of ancient Egyptian priests and priestesses in Memphis, Egypt, who agreed to make his image into a god. These Melchite Coptic Egyptians, let me get up here, compiled with Ptolemy the first request and made a composite using two of their ancient Egyptian gods, Osiris, and the sacred bull of Memphis, Apis. And during this process came up with the name Osiris, later Serapis. They then gave the name Osiris to Ptolemy I and gave his image the assimilated characteristics of their ancient Egyptian ancestor Osiris, thereby making Ptolemy and his image a god. They later created a devotional ritual to Serapis. He was spoken of as the savior and leader of souls, leading souls to the light and receiving them again. The ritual goes on to say, he raises the dead. He will save us after death, and we will be protected in his providence. And it says, where it say today the same thing is being said about this created image called Jesus Christ, who has a created birthday of 4 BCE and a created death date of 28 or 30 ABCE. And that's what I'm gonna stop right there, family. But the reason I wanted you to see that, like I said, I want to show you the credibility of the people that you're putting all your trust in, and even though that's not dealing with our demonic strip, but it's letting you see the type of people that you're dealing with. They've been at this. They've been trying to hide our stuff and cover it up and giving us false information and all of these things like this. We are now dealing with the demonic. We didn't come out of the heretic, and one thing I know. We was taught here in this class that the heretic is the oldest language, and everything came out of the heretic. And then once you got the heretic, you got the demotic, and that's what we're getting ready to delve in now. And then, from my understanding, after the demotic, it comes the Coptic. The Coptic come out of that. Dr. Shahi said we'll be going into that next. But right now we're on the demonic strip and learning about where it come. All of it come from the heretic. All of it come from the heretic. And I wasn't able to. Let me see. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, and I have one more. And we also. Had some pictures, had some charts to show the correlation between the heretic and the demotic. And I hope y'all can see that. It look kind of blurry, but that's an M. And in the heretic, you see how it looked like. You can see the similarities in the demotic and the heretic. Right here, you see that look like that little 3 right there. And also right here in the demotic and the heretic, that's a S and a Z. You can see the similarities. This got 2 little dots, but they still, in the demotic, you still can see the similarities here, family. And Islam. That's all I have, family, dealing with my brief history concerning the origin of the demonic strip. Islam.
In Islamism, Scribes, we give honors to everything it is that you brought forth. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. It don't get no plainer than the truth. And most definitely that was a grand draw in and of itself, a grand contribution to relate to the language, as we see the same thing they did with the second Shat, the Demotic, is basically what they had done already with the hieratic. And we see the time, the 26th dynasty actually deal with the last dynasty of the pharaoh that was on the manifest, which was really around 360 BC, so to speak. And this is the time, like 30 years prior to, so to speak, Alexander the Greek going in there starting to do his thing. And the brother touched on it, and I always say that the fall of the Kemetic influence, was a completion at 360 degrees.
Right.
And they came in on 33 degrees.
Mm.
So go figure. When you look at this, you understand how there was an influence of the secret societies using this as a pivotal point to try to assert their dominance, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things are very important to be known. And we actually even had a collage that we put together, showing this and showing even the time when Napoleon entered into Egypt, because it was Egypt by that time instead of Kemet, and
Right.
how the first Masonic groups was put in there and everything. So, in fact, he was considered a Grand Inspector General. So this ended up becoming a degree within the Masonic Rite, ironically.
Mm.
So, all of these things are symbolic and points in history for the European to gloat over the kill of our historical database, so to speak.
Right.
So this is why they always considered everything dead, because they were the one who killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Make no mistake about it.
That's right.
So these are the things that we just wanted to add on, and we just say you did a grand job, Goddess and Queen, with what you brought forth, and praise be to Allah. Uncle Jesanel, life, health, and prosperity be upon you, and the ancestors are leading on.
Islam.
All right. Okay. Well, let us call forth our next scribe, Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Islam. Gratitude. Islam, Moorish kin. First of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our ears class, giving honor to our family online, to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for opening our meeting according to law, to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Ania Kurtabay, for reading our subject chapter for the week, to Act One, and also to you, Dr. Shahid, for bringing forth this class. Much gratitude to you, Dr. Dendra, that powerful measure. Gratitude. At this time, I'm going to share my screen.
Hey, we got you in queue, Grand National Secretary of the State.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
So our assignment was dealing with refamiliarizing yourself with the second in Shat, aka Demotic script, and also give a brief history concerning the origins of the Demotic script. And so definitely we were sent attachments, and also the previous classes that we had in reference to introducing back to us the Demotic. So I was reviewing those letters as well. And for the second portion, in reference to a brief history dealing with the origins of Demotic script. Now, I took these from two areas, and I believe the first one was what we were, our host was touching base on last week in reference to the Demotic Paleographical Database Project, where it states Demotic refers to both the language and a written level of ancient Egyptian, was in use over 1,000 years. For over 1,000 years, they go from the 7th century BC to the 5th century AD. It covers different cultural phases of the late period, the Ptolemaic period, and the Roman period, and was used for a wide variety of different texts, from legal docs, accounts, legal and administrative texts, to scientific, which is mathematical, medical, etc., magical, divinatory texts, to literary, funerary, mythological, ritual, wisdom, and religious texts. And we have to be careful with these words, depending on who it is that's telling the demonstration. This long-lasting and varied use is attested today by large quantities of demotic texts on various text carriers, many of which have not yet been edited or studied. And this is the blessing of this special class, because we were able to go in certain papyri and pull historical accounts coming from the scribes that were actually tortured, to, as Dr. Dendra stated, our people didn't just readily roll over and accept, hey, we in here, we the new king on the territory, you come after us or follow us. No. So we have actually in our classes shown various papyri that spoke about the different horrific accounts to get the people to insert themselves into the history. The development of demotic sources is not only of outstanding importance for the research of the entire historical language development of Egyptian to Coptic, which is what our goddess was speaking about as well. Above all, the texts contain important information on political, social, administrative, religious, and cultural development of Egypt, as well as on intercultural exchange with Greece, Rome, and other circum-Mediterranean cultures. And when I looked up this special phrase, that's dealing with, now we know circum is like a root for circumference. So it was speaking about the other areas and territories and cultures around the Mediterranean. That's including Africa and what they call now is the Middle East, our people. Access to this historically extremely important source material is of great value beyond Egyptology for adjacent disciplines of classical sciences and other humanities. When we look at the older Egyptian language levels and their writing systems, hieroglyphic and hieratic have been indexed in numerous grammars, dictionaries, and paleographies. The Demotic, on the other hand, is significantly underrepresented in the field of basic tools for scientific analysis to this day. So, yeah, we definitely have work to do. In particular, Demotic studies lack a comprehensive paleography of its sign forms and a glossary of its word spellings based on the current state of research. However, such instruments form the indispensable basis for deciphering and scientifically processing the Demotic text. When we look at, now this is the other source material that I use coming from the University of Chicago, thus wrote on Shishonki, an introductory grammar of Demotic. And this was a particular scribe that was bringing forth wisdom sayings. Now, Demotic is the name applied to both a script and a stage in the development of the Egyptian language. The stage of the language called Demotic shows affinities with both late Egyptian, its predecessor, and Coptic, its successor. So we're speaking about the hieratic, Demotic, and then Coptic. It was presumably much closer to the spoken language, especially when it first came into use, than was the archaic, quote-unquote, classical language preserved in religious texts and hieroglyphic inscriptions. The Demotic script is the most cursive one developed by the Egyptians. It was first used under Psammetichus around 650 BC, early in the 26th or Shat dynasty. By the end of that dynasty, Demotic had become the standard script for business and everyday affairs. When we look at by the Ptolemaic period, Demotic was also the script in which the literary compositions were written. The latest Demotic inscription, the Philae, dates from the middle of the 5th century of our era. During this 1,000-year time span, Demotic was not a unity. There were differences, often minor, but still evident in script, vocabulary, morphology, and or syntax between different geographical sections of the country, between different chronological periods. So we're seeing that, and we have noticed it when we went over Demotic before, that depending on who the scribe is, you may see a slight difference or modification in the letters. Demotic is usually subdivided into 3 time periods: early, which is Sate and Persian, Ptolemaic, and Roman. So you see these here, and you know the one just let's automatically flow on through. No. And between different types of texts. Among the latter are business and legal documents, private letters, religious, scientific, and medical and magical texts, mummy tags, funerary and administrative stelae, an example given the so-called trilingual decrees, and literary texts, including both wisdom texts and stories. Even within these subdivisions, the script varies noticeably from scribe to scribe, as with modern handwriting. Now, some of the definitions I just brought forth out of that previous slide. Morphology is dealing with linguistics, the study of the forms of words, and the syntax is dealing with the arrangement of words, phrases, and clauses in a sentence to make them sound and look meaningful. When we look at the Demotic script, is an abbreviated development of hieratic. Like hieratic, it was written exclusively from right to left. Okay, the script in early Demotic text can often be transcribed into the hieratic from which the Demotic developed. Then it's giving you a couple examples of that. But by the Ptolemaic period, the Demotic script was developing on its own. And the attempt to assign hieratic and from the hieratic hieroglyphic equivalence of words produces numerous, this was key, artificial hieratic and hieroglyphic forms. Now, this is where Dr. Shahid is always telling us that you're looking at remix, especially when you're coming into this Ptolemaic period. The Greek, Roman, we're the ones that brought everything. And nothing could be further from the truth. So it's letting you know that what we see even today is still based upon remix and has been widely accepted by quote unquote Egyptologists, but they have not gone back to the original source materials or have covered the truth. But you cannot banish the truth. So these lessons concentrate on the Demotic script itself rather than on any real or hypothetical origin or contemporary hieroglyphic equivalent. So in essence, they're saying they're going back to the actual source of where they're getting their study from. And last, we're looking at the Demotic not only contain both phonetic signs and determinatives, and we see that hieratic also has determinatives in it as well. But in addition, many of the signs were ligatures, and ligature, coming from printing, is a character consisting of two or more joined letters. Example given, you see the AE and the FL, almost as if they're combined. It's also a stroke that joins adjacent letters in writing or printing. So, thus, even more than in earlier stages of the language, words were learned as units by the Egyptian scribe and must be so learned by the modern student. Every scribe had quite distinctive handwriting, and there may be major differences between the ways two different scribes wrote the same sign. In these lessons, the student will be exposed to just one system, that of the scribe of Anshashonki, so that he can concentrate on grammar. After this, the major problem which remains in Demotic is to learn to read all the various scripts and handwritings. And again, we give much honor to Dr. Shahid for giving us these various tools, which when we first started, we definitely had to do it from a manual demonstration. The tools make it easier, but at least we know how to do both coming from the manual and do the research, and also the tools, especially provided by our Japanese brother in dealing with the database. And this is just the photo of what the Demotic letters are demonstrating. And that's the end of my measure. Islam?
Gratitude, Islamism Grand National Secretary of State. Uncle Jetsanel, life, health, and prosperity be upon you for that measure. Grand drawing, indeed, most grand. And that was a lot of clarity. And I see they brought forth what they call the Said period, along with the Persian period. But the Said period was actually also dealing with the ending, the last ruling dynasty in the 26th dynasty of the pharaohs, as we spoke of earlier, which was Pharaoh Necho. And we see where they was going. So it really would look like 4 different stages in all actuality: the Said, the Persian, and Roman, and the Greek, so to speak. And these were the ones who came forth with their different versions. And this is what we have to understand, that even between the Greek and the Roman periods, there would have been a total different use for the language, despite of the way that they came forth with it. Whether you were dealing with administrative documents, or whether you were dealing with religious texts, or let's just say financial ledgers, or whatever the case may be. We know that during the time of ancient Kemet, they were dealing with it from a more linguistic approach. And there is some overlap between the Demotic script, second Shat, which is the proper name to use, a proper terminology to use. There's some overlap between that and what we call also Meroitic, which was a Nubian script, because there are many evidences where they actually refer to the Meroitic also as Demotic script. Even though we know that these are different scripts, so to speak, you will see this often demonstrated, because a lot of the letters that were found in the actual alphabetical characters of Meroitic, the Meroitic script, which is said to not even be deciphered at this point, but we also have a working key for the decipherment of that. We went over this in the past, and we'll get into these things in due time. But also the Demotic, the second Inshet, we see the derivation of certain characters that come directly from the hieratic language. We'll get into this in a second. And we also see an admixture of that and the Meroitic, and then we can segue later into the Coptic script, which also has somewhat of a connection. And we seen how Champollion tried to come up with his artificial alphabetical charts in relation to dealing with Demotic, the Coptic and the Greek. And this is how they were able to try to build their language. But what we know about the history of what is called Demotic as well, when we go into Dynasty 196 BC, this is 196 years before what they would call Christ, so to speak. We find that the Rosetta Stone came on the manifest, and as our sister Curta Bay pointed it out, it was created as a relic, so to speak, to try to give, the Ptolemies veneration as gods in ancient Kemet. And so we seen the reverse engineering process of what they demonstrated with the language. We seen them, where they actually have scribes, under duress being forced to write certain things, and basically remix the language so that it becomes a Greco-Roman type language, which becomes something totally different than what was intended to be. So you're talking about some of the ancestors actually being under the threat of death, so to speak, to create some of these things. Even the Rosetta Stone, which they use as an instrument of decipherment, we already know this right here is a tool, decree, so to speak, that was propaganda, to make the people of Kemet begin to honor the Greco-Roman invaders as the source. And so you have to consider all of this when you understand where we are now with this information, because if not, you will be thinking that this is the ancient ancestors doing, and they did this willfully and readily. And we find out upon investigation, nothing can be further from the truth. You see, so I want to give honors to our scribes for bringing forth this history, because this is just the beginning. We're going to go into some measures in a second, but we're going to see if our beloved brother and scribe, Dr. Marvin Nathaniel Edwards Bay, have a measure he want to bring forth. Islam. Islam, you there, grand man?
It's yes, sir.
Islamism.
Islamism without the schism. Yes, sir. Well, I tell you, this is powerful. I mean, I give honors. Again, yeah, this is Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay out of Texas territory. Praise and honors have been given. And I give honors to the scribes with their demonstration of very powerful measures. And, I learned, as you say, we learn from each other. And, well, as far as my demonstration, I brought forth just a little something concerning this particular measure. Okay, if I can entire screen share. Okay. Now when I go into this particular area, like, can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. I just put you in the queue. Let me expand it so that people can see it. Islam. There we go.
So you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We see your screen, brother.
Okay. All right. So the lessons that we were supposed to bring on, the actual. Let me see. Let me go over here. Okay. The assignment, homework will consist of refamiliarizing yourself with the Sekha and Shat, also known as Demotic script. Give a brief history concerning the origins of the Demotic script. And when I looked at this, I started what I was going to do at first, just to give you to see where my mind was going. I was going to put together, just familiarize myself with the script, the different, as we began studying this, you sent us different material, showing us the basic alphabet and transliteration and the actual Demotic script. I mean, trying to put it together to get a understanding of the script itself. So this is one demonstration I went in. Then I was going to cut and paste the actual Demotic script and saw how it actually related to the actual alphabet that we know today. And I just began. I said, well, okay, that's all well and good, but I decided also to go to the actual script and just show the script. This would be the Demotic, which is in here, right, as it relates to the ABCD, the abjad order, all the way through. And I said, okay, that's familiarizing myself with that. But going back to this particular page right here, on one of the documents that you sent us, and that would be, well, let me go up. See, how can I bring it on? I'm have to go over here. Well, it might not come up because I'm over here. And this shows, hold on, do you see my screen now? Okay, it actually shows, okay, that was the actual one document. This is the other document. And this is one I want to focus on at the moment. And I saw this because I see this all the time. I really hadn't paid it any attention. And it was just interesting. That's where it says this is actually a book that they use, Light and Truth, collected from the Bible and ancient and modern history, containing the universal history of the colored and Indian race, from the creation of the world to the present time, by R. Lewis, R.B. Lewis, one of them, second edition. And I looked that book up, and I said, well, I'm not gonna try to go and to get that book, buy that book, because I mean, all we needed is these this part of it. I guess this came out of it, and so as I go back my demonstration, and just looking at the word script, and I noticed our goddess Dr. Dendra Neal Curtis Bay, National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, she was giving her a demonstration, and she broke a lot of the stuff down. And as I was looking at her demonstration, I saw how everything went back to, say, the Greeks. You know what I mean? And you've told us on numerous occasions there is no ancient Greeks. Like we go back 1,000, 2,000 years. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket. Compared to our history. And it's just really something to consider. I mean, we know that 1,000 years is less than a blink of an eye to the great God Allah. So we know that we have always been here. So when we go into our history, we have to really, really go within. I mean, this is the key, to go within. But of course, we have to deal with this manifest to a degree. And so we look at script, something written or written document earlier, strite. That's from the 1300s, Anglo-French, all this European, piece of writing, written paper, credit, note, IOU debt, directly from the Latin scriptum. See, this is as far as you're going to go when you're dealing with European interpretation or transliteration or anything to that matter. You know what I mean? Okay, they actually hint to the original notion is of carving marks in stone, wood. And they're going to hint to that. But they're not really going to give you a good understanding of it. The meaning, handwritten characters, style of handwriting as distinguished from print. It was recorded by 1860. Earlier in typography, script was the name for a face cut to resemble handwriting, 1838. Theatrical use short for manuscript is attested from 1884, in the study of language. Importance of Rome to the spread of civilization in Europe. Okay, now Rome is considered as spreading civilization in Europe. Is attested by the fact that the word right in Celtic, Germanic, as well as Romanic languages derives from, and we know that these people wasn't even on the scene when the language was actually brought on the manifest. But this is what we are led to believe. This is where our people are buried in their research. But this is why we're on the manifest today. And I'm going to go on to the Demotic demonstration, how they broke it down. This is why we have the ears class and our instructor, Dr. Shedu Aneti Well, the Cometian, or as the concert community calls him, the Commission Adept Hierophant, because he's really the leader, the forerunner in exposing what has taken place. Okay, I mean, of course, we got a lot of our brothers that brought forth a lot of knowledge and wisdom and understanding concerning what happened to us. I mean, we have a plethora of information, but just pointing to our instructor, he's taking a lead in diving deeper than the surface. He's talking about, and this is another definition, and I got all this out of the what is called the, let me go. Let me try. No. But it's called the, let me get my thoughts together. It's called, let's see if I can get one of these other. Well, I'll come up with it eventually. Okay, so I'm going to just continue with this demotic definition of or belonging to the people, especially pertaining to the common people, popular, vulgar, 1822. From the Latinized form of Greek demoticos, of or for the common people in common use, from demos, common people, originally distinct from, I forgot what this is, paleographic something, demo, division from root, da, to divide. Originally in English, it was used in reference to the simpler or two forms of ancient Egyptian writing, opposed to hieratic and hieroglyphic. In the broader sense, it was by 1831 used of the popular form of modern Greek since 1927. And okay, that's where they came in and started taking over from our ancestors. And I just thought I could just put in hieratic because we know that the original scripts began with hieratic, which was actually sacred, pertaining to sacred things. You know, that's why when you see something called hieratic, if it doesn't pertain to sacred writings, then it ain't hieratic. You know, so they got Latin hieraticus, from Greek hieratikos, pertaining to a priest or his office, priestly, devoted to sacred purposes, from hieratia, priesthood, from hiereus, priest, from hieros, sacred, holy, hallowed, superhuman, mighty, divine. All these things, their interpretation of you and I. So we go to hieroglyphics, 1580s, of the nature of Egyptian monumental writing. And our instructor alludes to this all the time. You know, that was what hieroglyphics was all about, where actually they got it from the monumental writings. And they say from late Latin, hieroglyphicus, from Greek, hieroglyphicos, hieroglyphic or Egyptian writing, from hieros, sacred, glyphi, carving, from glyphine, to carve, from the PIE root glyph, to tear apart, cleave. Plutarch is one of those historians that we kind of get information from. He was closer to the, say, classical historians. Began the custom of using the adjective ta hieroglyphica as a noun in reference to the Egyptian way of writing. The noun use of hieroglyphic in English dates to 1580s. I mean, that's kind of early. Hieroglyphics, related hieroglyphically. And so that's to me is a brief history. We're talking about where we're coming from hieratic, or supposedly from hieroglyphic, to the demotic. And just to, as again, looking at the strip itself, this is the actual script. This was the demotic. Over here would be the hieroglyphic representation. It's part of the re-engineering. I get that term mixed up, but this is where they remixed it and regurgitated it to something that to their liking, so to speak, something that they wanted to present to the rest of the world, but thereby burying the true essence, the true history of the writing. And so I think that's going to be enough to give you, a little history of where it's come from in the actual language itself. It would take our national assistant grand sheik, our instructor, to go further in depth as to what he's bringing on the manifest. And with that, I'm going to say gratitude for allowing me to share. Islam and peace.
And gratitude for sharing, brother. Uncle Ajed Seneb, life, health, and prosperity be upon you. And our grand droid, in the history that you ran down, because our people have to have knowledge of this. A lot of these terminologies our ancient ancestors will not even comprehend, when it comes to dealing with the Greek. But we utilize this terminology because that's what the public is familiar with, You know, and being that the public is familiar with these things, it gives them some founding and grounding, so to speak, when we present these things before them. And, you know, we have to embrace them where they are and then take them where they need to be. This is our job as scribes, you know. And what I will do, you know, I'm going to touch on a few measures real quick, briefly, just to go further into these drawings. I want to give honors to all of our scribes, you know, and scribesses, you know, for what it is that you have brought forth. You know, you did a magnanimous job and most illustrious measure that you brought forth. So what I'm going to do at this particular time, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to touch on a few things. I'm going to go off into a few areas. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hit entire screen, you know, because it's always good to give our people some background. And so what I will do is go back to the original email that I sent out to our family for the assignment. We want to honor our family again for everything it is you've done, you know, and we give honors to you, you know, for following in the footsteps of the ancestors. So what I'm going to do at this particular, I'm going to go ahead and hit download, even though I know I already got this in my archives, because I want to open up this particular area anyway, because now I can actually go into the area of our tool, which is, you know, the DPDP paleography tool, which is here. We're going to utilize that in a second here. And we created this key not long ago to show our people certain things. And we know that this was an actual chart that showed transcription. You know, this one I want to say came from Isaac Taylor, you know, when he was demonstrating certain measures, and that's dealing with the hieratic itself. And this is actually one that was in abjad order. We already know the reverse engineering process of adding pictures, and this is the same process Egyptologists began to try to adopt and adapt. And the thing too about this particular work here, following this, The Light and the Truth, you know, collection on the Bible, ancient modern history, you notice that this is actually a book written by one of our people because they put a colored man. You know, it's a lot of history. You know, they say universal history in this particular measure. In fact, we're going to go to Google Books real quick and peek into this special measure so y'all can see what we got going here. Let's see. Okay, play Google. Let's see. I'm not talking about Google Play, I'm talking about Google Books. Okay, and so let's see. I should be able to pull it up by putting this in there. Let's see. Not that. That ain't what we're looking for. Let's see. It's been a minute since I pulled it up. I want to get the exact words here. Give me a second. Bear with us, family. Okay, I'm going to go back over here. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead to actually search for Google Books.
Yeah,
okay, I see. Find by.
Okay, let me go back over here. Okay. So let's see. There it is right there. You know, and this was an 1844 source, you know, and they have many different measures in here. You go through the PDFs or whatever. So they give histories on whole coaches here, so to speak. You know, you got the cities of Ethiopia, as you can see right here. Let me try to expand this a little bit. You know, they go through all the stuff that we understand through history. This is a good source, just like Isaac Taylor's measures, one that covered different measures as well. You know, and so they went into a whole lot of history in this particular work. I'm trying to get down here when they was trying to deal with some the linguistics or whatever the case may be. You know, this is definitely a book that's out of print, but you should get this and put it in your archives, family. You know, put it in your archives. And it's just based on the fact that this is an old book coming from one of our people, so to speak. Because rarely I've seen books in bibliography that go back this far. You know what I mean? And it's given a lot of history, you know, in relation to dealing with, you know, the stuff that we are already familiar with that has been given to us by a prophet. I'm trying to pull this up right here. Got a couple of them here. Where is it at? We talk about the land of Moab. They go in deep detail of these things here, family. You know, so you can actually learn, you know, the languages and so forth and so on. You know, they talk about the first kings of Egypt, which they wrote minis, you know, out of history. A lot of times the European didn't even cover that history properly. But, you know, this is a whole book, like I say, going into the history in relation to dealing with it. See, from Tahaka, Ancient Kings. The older the source, family, this is another thing too. The older the source, the better, because you find out what has been remixed later on. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you find out what has been remixed later on. So it gives us a little history in here concerning how everything was remixed and the time periods, you know, as they would have been relating on a biblical level, but also universal history being tied into the same source here, so to speak. I'm trying to pull it up right here. So they're talking about Carthage and all of that. Scipio Africanus. This is a book. I wonder, do they really have the physical history of this right here too? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that one. We're talking about the Hindus, the Indian tribes in America. You know, this thing right here is a wealth of information in here, family. I'm gonna go back up. I'm scrolling for that one page that we had here. We'll go back and go into the actual drawing in a minute. Let me see. That's Plato. That's Phoenicia. This okay. So we'll do it this way right here. Let's try this. We'll try this. Okay. They should have had. Let's see. We still should be able to go in here. Okay. I want to go into the area when they was actually speaking. Okay, of the invasion, so to speak. Okay, that's the Athenaeus. That's the overthrow of the Xerxes, judges, Hannibal. Okay, that's the Jews, Solomon's temple, and the tribe. Who is that thing? color men. And this book right here too would have been similar to a certain thing. See, it's going into the Moorish history, the Rock of Gibraltar. Where's that page at that I was dealing with? That's the history of the prophets. Hold up, let me see here. I was dealing with the language of. Okay. Well, this was a different portion here, but this actually shows, you know, the connection of the Arabic language and the Arabians. You know, which they say is the last portion of the language. Mustafa Gadala touches on this right here, right? And it talks about the language of the Arabians and the modern Abyssinians, and many of their laws, it say, were much of the same with those of the ancient Egyptians. You know, the Arabians seem to have been originally, divided into a great number of tribes with kings at the head of each. You know, they go into that right there, but it's another portion I'm looking for here. Didn't mean to go that far back. I want to go back here. It's another portion in here that I'm trying to find specifically as it relates to hold on, let me see here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Where's that? Come on, man. Where in the world is that page? Okay. They gave history on Ethiopia. Let me see right here. We covered it. That's Meroe. You heard me talking about the Meroitic dynasty and so forth and so on when they use the term Meroe. You know, which actually this is also talking about the Ethiopian Queen Candace that Prophet Noble Ali speaks of. Okay. Diodorus Siculus, you know, is one of the ones who actually wrote on some of the languages, you know, and this is actually one that considered the same thing that we spoke of about the hieroglyphics. He knew the difference. You know, he understood that hieroglyphics were pictorial formulas instead of actually being a language in the form of alphabet. You know, this is all prior to the 19th century, though, before Champollion created his thing. You know, but it talks about here how Diodorus Siculus, you know, an ancient historian, informs us that the Ethiopians consider the Egyptians as one of their colonies. You know, in other words, you know, they're using the term Ethiopian, but really you're talking about the Cushites. You know, and as we were speaking of, you know, the Meroitic language, you know, these are the same people referred to as the people of Sabah, or the Sabians, so to speak, right? I'm just giving this brief background and history so you have knowledge of knowing who these people are, and then they go into the history here and talk about the kingdom of Egypt, and they speak on Ham, you know, and it tell you all these different empires that came forth through this lineage of Ham, him having 4 sons. You know, you see the empires of Assyria, Egypt were founded by the descendants of Ham, which is a corruption of the word Cam, or where we get the word Kemet from, right? You know, once you understand this, you see how the language branches off into many different areas, as we always say, right? Africa in general, Egypt in particular, called the land of Ham, you know, in the biblical text, right? You know, Egypt was one of the most ancient and interesting countries on the face of the earth. The foundation of the kingdom of Egypt, it says, is ascribed to Menes. You know, a lot of people don't know that Menes is you know, said to be the one who united Lower and Upper Kemet. This is said in Destruction of Black Civilization, how the Hyksos was able to come in due to this unite and so forth and so on. This is where a lot of admixture come from. You know, it talks about the Hebrew words that were translated, you know, as Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim would be considered today what they call the more mixed breed of those who were in Egypt, so to speak, Mitzrayim. So they give a lot of history here as it relates to, the invasions, the people who came in. They tell you about the different colonies that came in. It goes into talking about the different time periods that certain people came in, like this Alexandrian time period. We was just mentioning this, and it tells you 331 BC, around that same time. People don't know this is where the foundation was laid for your Ptolemies. You see, comes into play. See, it says the Ptolemies made it their royal residence. It says, and each successive monarch labored to embellish it. Embellish it with what? We already know what embellishment is. But it says, when the Romans at the death of Cleopatra BC 26 annexed Egypt to their empire, they respected and preserved the beauties of this city, and it continued to flourish. But they ain't telling you, when you go into the essence of this, that they were placing themselves there. And a ship belonging to Alexandria, Paul sailed for Rome. This is Paul, according to Christianity, right? Was early planted in this place, and Mark is said to have founded the church here in AD 60. That's 60 years after the descent of Christ. And it says was here martyred in 68 AD 6. That's 8 years after being there. Apollos was born as well, and it goes into Acts. So they quoting actual biblical measures here and showing prophets that were here in this particular place. Then it comes over here and it speaks even of the Saracens, who conquered it AD 646. A lot of people don't know Saracens is another name for the Moors, but that's a whole nother measure, especially if we understand who the Syria people later was as well in West Africa. So they have measures in here, and it talks about modern Alexandria being built of ruins of the ancient city, containing population of 15,000. So even the modern or the most recent form of Alexandria was built on the ruins, of another civilization, so to speak, that was prior to it. So we can go on and see all the different remixes. A lot of this is similar to what Sister Curta Bay put up here in relation to dealing with Osiris. You see? So this is a grand book on the history, and it goes deeper into the language. See, it's talking about the city of Sais. This is what the Saites are. This is King Amasis. This is actually dealing with that last dynasty that we were talking about too. This is what this portion is dealing with. 360 BC, the 26th dynasty. They got a whole bunch of history. It's so much in here, family. We don't want to go through this covering everything, but it's a good source where you can actually look at the parallel history of the Piscean records, the biblical history, and also what they call universal history outside of the biblical narrative. But it's being put in perspective, so that you can actually teach our people who have been buried, so to speak, in the Bible. This also shows a lot about how the Greeks and the Romans and everybody else came into here. And this is where you can see all the changes that take place, family. You can see, where this language situation, begins to spread out as a result of the people and the different civilization that came in. So a lot changed, but there are certain cues in history that allow us to be able to revisit this information and find accuracy. Etymology is the main key to be able to trace certain things. And this is what we do. We trace things by the root. Every culture owes homage to ancient Kemet for what it has. Contrary to popular belief, family. Contrary to popular belief, every culture, owes, what it is that they have to ancient Kemet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to this document, and we're gonna go further into it and deal with the linguistics. So we just want to give our family some insight in regards to dealing with that. But here is a set of the alphabet that is known as the Demotic in our chart. What we call second Inshet. And as they stated, just like the hieratic, there has not been a complete makeover. And we had to use everything that you see right here to create a comprehensive version, which I'll show you in a minute, of the hieratic chart. And not the hieratic chart, but the Demotic chart. This was actually Champollion's chart, where he actually was transcribing the Demotic into pictures. This guy just had a real measure about trying to reverse engineer something. So he wants you to believe that these signs here, anyone you so choosing, is crazy, because all of these things are in what they consider the A listing section. But we find out that, in, his charts that were created, okay, they would say this, is a hieratic A, right? But then they would say this is a R. But then they would say this is a letter Y. Then this is a letter G. This is a Y in the normal thing. So W and everything up in here. So how is it going to be a Y, G, W, F, or I, or A? How can this symbol in Demotic be all of those things? So you can see, if you look at this, the way that he was successful in trying to transcribe these things, because they were saying they look like them, you can see that this Demotic don't look like none of these pictures. Let's see. This Demotic letter A, it don't look nothing like this bird. We can go all the way through here. You can't reach with this one right here, Champollion. I know he's turning over in his grave right now because I'm over here exposing it. So when we look right here, the same thing with the B. You can't do this like you did with the hieratic and even find nothing that remotely. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Same thing here. He was doing this. This is what they did. So they was really reaching, family. They was reaching, trying to create. Here, look here. You got reed leaves in every area right here. We see the E is interchangeable with the H. We see that's what he's trying to do. We got the A up here. They got a reed leaf over here. But we didn't see no A being interchangeable and sound shifting with no letter Y. I ain't never seen a Y being converted to a letter A. But you see on different levels, he got the same letters. See what I'm saying? Come all the way over here. Again, trying to create a transcription. Look at all of this. My goodness. What was he thinking about? You see? And none of that, can measure up to this. So this is another way of exposing this guy. But this was his transcription, which is the one that he used dealing with the Rosetta Stone. When we can see a connection between the Hecopter or the Coptic and the Demotic, because we know there's a relation to that. But when you start trying to put these pictures up here, that's where the problem come in at. This is where the problem come in at. So anything that looked like it can be shaped in a certain way, that he could do, he was reaching, people. This is all guesswork. You're going to take something that was a sacred carving off the wall in the monument, and then you're going to come over here and try to compare it to an actual letter in the alphabet instead of using the actual alphabet. Look at this. He failed terribly with this stuff. Look at this. None of this stuff. So he was guessing. This is basically a draft copy of his alphabet when he should have let well enough alone and deal with the alphabet as you deal with the alphabet. You see, but you know that's Champollion for you. So what we did, me and my brother Marvin Edwards Bay, we isolated, everything. As you seen our Grand Secretary of State, all the scribes had this particular alphabet chart. And we have the letter A right here, when it's already here, but we put it in abjad order here. You see the A, B, G, D You know, we see it right here in the Hecopter, which they like to falsely call Greek. You know, but we see it here, and so we put everything here in all of the different attestations that will relate to the same thing in the alphabet chart, so you'll have a more comprehensive version of the different forms. Like this is A right here, right? So I'm gonna show you something real quick. Well, you know what? We'll wait till we get to the next chart because we have another more refined chart. So this is B. You know, this is supposed to be a different attestation beneath it, another form of the B here as well. You know, you can see the relations of it to hieratic if you understand the letters. This is G here. This is D. And we have the different attestations of D. D is interchangeable with the letters T. You know, TH, and just a flat out T. These are different forms of the letter T here. Then we have the letter H here. We have different forms of the H. You know, we have the W. You know, different forms of the W here. We can see the different forms of it. And we'll show you how this works in a second. You know, we have the letter H here again, Y. Right? We have the G. Now, we had to really go through this thing letter by letter. Me and the brother Marvin Edwards Babe was doing this. You know, and we this is before we actually found, you know, the other charts, you know, to put everything here. We had to go up here. I used a lot of this, all this here, these things that you see here, these are excerpts from this portion right here. So I had to take, you know, this little hodgepodge up here and put everything in the proper order. And so that's what I did. You know, so I put the alphabet beside it, you know, to try to make it more comprehensive to look at. And I know this still may not be comprehensive to those who don't know what's being shown now, but it will be in a second here. We always like to emphasize this letter M here because M has kept its form throughout every alphabetical system that I've seen. That M, it's always been the same, all the way back to the hieratic and everything. Here's the N, which is very similar to the hieratic N too. You know, they got different versions of it here. You know, the S, this is basically a demotic key that can be utilized. See, this is S here. That's another form of the S. That's a S, which actually kept its demotic form. That's a different form. I mean, its hieratic form. This is another one. So they have various different versions of the S right here. You know, so I was trying to put them all together and make sure that they lined up with what was already on the manifest here, family. You know, so see, like the M here showing you the Hecopter, then the N here, then the S here, or Zeta as they call it. You know, and you keep going on. That's what I was trying to do. This is P right here. This is actually P right here. This is a P in Demotic. You know, this is a letter R that looked like a P right here in the Hecopter. You know, this is R here, right? You know, and so we can go all the way down with this chart. See the C symbol look like, you know, a C. This is actually SH here. This is the SH sound, which is very similar to the SH in the Arabic. This is T, you know, which is interchangeable with D, and these are the demotic characters, second inshet here. You know, we have the H. You know, this is a hard H here. You see, we have the P again here. See, this is a symbol here. Then we have the G, you know, which is interchangeable with K. This is why it looks like an X a lot of times. X is interchangeable with G and K. We know this. You know, here it is here. Here's another K. We can see it here. W. You know, we really had to go into a lot of sound shifting and putting these things here to show you how relative they were to each other. Here again, here's the SH again. You know, here is the P again, you know, because this is the way they put them together. So we had to compile them as they were. So this is the G again. You know, this is more like it's an A, to a certain degree, but we'll get into it in a little bit. I got my other chart up here that's more comprehensive even than this one. This is the first one, that we put out here. You see, when we deal with, we want to deal specifically with everything that related to the alphabet. That's the H, and then this is the T here. And all of these are different expressions, that was outside of dealing with this, but the T is the last actual alphabet. So what we found, there are certain letters. Here's the reverse engineer version, and this is cursive hieroglyphs here too, by the way. That's cursive hieroglyphs. Anytime you see these pictures being compared, and they're calling this hieratic, but this is really not necessarily hieratic. I do know they have a hieratic version of this, but they mixing the two together, and that's how they confuse the people. They mixing cursive hieroglyphs with hieratic and calling both of them hieratic. So here's the demotic A, which you already seen in the previous chart that we have, and this is another A here. You see the demotic here, and we can go right back up to the chart that I just showed you. If you look at it from the top, you see the A here. You see it here. Same thing. Come back down here, and you see it here. Demotic, right? Then you have another A here, which I was speaking on a few minutes ago. Let me show you. And it's actually here. See this little section here? All of these are supposed to be an expression of an A, and this little backwards comma, a colon, so to speak, if you want to call it that. This is the A that's being mentioned here. You have the A and the Ein sound, which is a more glottal A. So that's right here. And you see the same little symbol here, right here. This is A. As you can see it right there, it says A, right? So when we come over here, because we want to be able to identify these things. See, this is these two signs here, even to mention this one right here, but these are the main two that they had. And so we just create this chart from what they already had out here. So here's the B here. Now there's hieratic B. This is a real hieratic B here. This is correct. But when we come here to demotic, you can see here, but this is a ligature. Even though they're pretty much pushing it as a B, you can see this symbol here that look like a 4. And let's go back up to our alphabet chart above it. And see, this is the main B right here. These are the same things here. So I isolated them and put them here. It took time to do this. It was a very tedious process. You see the A, B, G. This is the G. This is interchangeable with K. Remember I said that earlier. This is abjad. Now you see this particular symbol here. Here's another expression of the symbol put together here, where it says or. This is G. So now when we come down here, to the chart, and they actually pardon self. Let me see it up here. I don't even think. There it is right there. I got it over here instead. But this is it right here. This is the hieratic version. This is the demotic version of it. The G. And also the K. I forgot this right here wasn't even put in the abjad order per se. And so when you search down through this document, you will notice, pretty much the alphabet is there. So let me show you. Let me go back up here. This is D. Again, this is interchangeable with T. D, T, D, T. This is the D version. This is the T version. This is the TH version. You see? All of these are different versions. So D is interchangeable with T. We already know this in the realm of sound shifting. So let us go back. Pay attention to these symbols though. Now look at them. Look at all of these. Now let's go down here to the T and the D, so to speak, in this section. Trying to find it. They have different ones. Okay, this is one right here. You see this symbol here? This is another demotic T as well, that stroke. So let's go back up here, and you're going to find it in the same area. Let's see the connection here. Here. And they have two expressions of the D and the T. You know, all of this here. Here's another one here. See the T here? We just showed it to you up here a few minutes ago. That's T. Let me take that down. There it is right there, T and D. You know, so, and then we have it at the end. You know, this is the main symbol, you know, that we find. So you got to learn these different T's and the way they express them, and the D's and so forth and so on. You know, and we can go all the way down this list, letter for letter, family, and they're going to check out, right? But to get straight to the point, you know, without having to go through all of that, I got another measure I'm going to bring forth here. Let me go back to my email that I sent out, because I sent out two charts. This is the ABG Demotic chart that was also created by myself to show you also how they reverse engineered, which a lot of these symbols Champollion was trying to pull up, they ain't got nothing to do with the other, so to speak. So I wanted to have a more refined version of it. And I used a DP paleography tool here to pull all of these different measures up, you know, and so we have, you know, these as the main A's here. This is what they tried to reverse engineer it into being a picture, but we know better. Same thing they did with the hieratic. So this is the actual alphabet or the letter here. That's B again. We showed you that. Same thing that I was just showing you in that chart, but you know, this is a more refined version of it. You know, the D's and the T's and so forth and so on. This is the letter H in Demotic. It's the letter W. This is another expression of the W. You see, this is another expression of the W. You know, this is another H here. Another expression of the H here, pardon self. You know, here's a Y here. You know, here is a K. And then I showed the sound shift between L and R. Because a lot of people don't know this is a L here in Demotic. Our second inch, this is a L here. But the R and the L's has always been interchangeable. You know, like we say, ra, la, ra, 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 la, ra, la. You know what I mean? So there's a connection here. But anyway, this is M, the letter M here. Here's that M here. Both of these are M's. You know, so we have to be able to identify this when we go into documents. We can use this as a key to be able to transliterate certain things. You see, when it comes to dealing with the paper, we're going to get into some of that in a minute too. We're going to show you that this chart that I created is on point, is accurate. I'm just trying to show you the various different ways which they told you this really hadn't been done. So again, we are here dealing with our own methodology when it comes to this language. It's the letter S here. See, S is interchangeable with Z. Zeta, zeta. You know, this is the S in Demotic or second in shot. This is another S expression. You know, this is the A that we was talking about earlier, that comma look. You see, this is the symbol of the A here. We showed these to you already. This is also another version of the A. You know, here's the F, which is same as it is normally in hieratic. You know, here's another version of the F here. You know, these are all Demotic, but some of these Demotic letters come straight out of, hieratic. So here are some more letters here. Here again is your S, your Z. Look, se, ze, the. See how close the is to the ze? And then the is to the de. These are different sound shifts. 1, 2, 3, 4 sound shifts can all be used, to express this based on who it is that's transliterating a particular text. You'll mostly see that S and that Z. So you see Q and K is interchangeable here. See, this is your Q and your K in Demotic, or second inchet. We again have the R and L, which we already expressed earlier. It's just another version. We have the sh version here, which looks similar to the M, but don't get them confused, because the difference between the sh here and go back up to the M is we see a curvature going on the top here. See, that can throw you off if you don't know no better. So when we come back here, we see the sh part, and then we see a slight change here in variation, which looked like a W attached, but this is really the same thing here, just a different way of writing it. And here's another sh sound. So when you see these in papyri, you identify this is definitely a decipherment key. Here again is the D and the T in relation to dealing with the Demotic, or the second inchet as well, which you can find here or here. Here's another version of it. We were showing that to you earlier. That's the D and the T. These are actually the same D's and T's that we was pointing out earlier. And even if we were to go up to that other chart I was showing you, you'll see the same thing. Here is the H, and we can see the H here in Demotic, our second inchet, the H here, another version of the H. Here's another version of the H, and we found all these attestations in our tool here again. In fact, I could have actually went in here and really went there and just said, okay, we'll put the letter A up here, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to go back up here so y'all can see this. We ain't got nowhere to be. So right now, you can actually hit each letter family. It's going to pull up all the A listing letters. See the A right here? The main A here. So in my chart here, you see I have this symbol right here, right? Like I say, this was a very tedious process. I'm going to do this again so you can see this as well. Capital letter A. See the capital letter A right here, what it yields? I'm going to blow this all the way up here. See it right here? And all you do is really go through here. Let's go to my other chart. You'll see those different letters in there. See here? It's the main one. So that's what I did. And I went letter by letter, and you're going to see they all check out letter by letter the same. So that's your B again. See the B? Come over here. That's another attestation for the B. Now let's go back over here. Back out. We're going to hit the letter B, right? Uh-oh. Got to minimize that a little bit, family. Okay, so there it is. Let me blow this up so you can see it. See the B here? So we go back over here. We see the B. You see? So let me come over here. See.
No, we was in Star Wars for a minute.
Say that again, Grand Man.
I said I thought we were in Star Wars for a minute. That noise that was coming in.
Oh yeah, that's guy that we eat and blowing. So yeah, so you can see all these different measures in here. But you just got to know how to isolate and deal with the actual alphabet. And the European always trying to compare these alphabets to letters, the letters to pictures. And that's the problem. That's where they confusing people and burying them at. So here's the G here as well. The lowercase g. You just come over here and it's going to yield exactly what it is that we're looking for. That's the lowercase g. You open it up, you see the G right here, and you come to my chart, that I created so you can have easy access. You see the same symbol. The D, it's the same thing. See, it's a lowercase d. You have to go about it this way because this is the way that, these things are here. See the D right here? See how they showing you the sound shift with the T there that I was speaking of earlier as well? That's a whole nother measure, but that's there you go, your D's and your T's, same thing. This is your H, which is this symbol here, okay, or character rather. Let's go over here to the H and look for that character in our paleography tool. So let's see, lowercase h, there it is right there. See, we see other measures up in here too, that relates to this H. And a lot of this stuff has been added in here too since the last time we came here. These are different attestations that have been added here. Okay, so like I said, it took time for me to put all this together in a comprehensive way. And when you put these letters up here, they have to be exactly the way it is, like your capital letter A, B, because these all distinguish the difference between a lowercase a or B or whatever alphabet it is. So this is W here, our next letter. So you come over here, and you hit W, lowercase w, and there's your letter right there, your W. That's another attestation for W as well. You see, these are ligatures because it's more than one expression of them, but they still coming from the W root, so to speak. So that's W2. So this is similar almost to our molar tool, but it's just a digital version showing different expressions. And we just have to train our eye to become familiar with these characters just as we have. Some of them going to be easy because some of them are just like the hieratic from whence they come. See, this is H here. See the H? So now let us go over here to the capital letter H. We just seen the lowercase letter H. Let's go to the capital letter H in our tool, right? That's the capital letter H, and there you have it. These are the same symbols, that are being put up here. Let's go to the H. And we're pulling the main extracting. See this symbol here, this symbol here? This is the main H when it comes to the second inshet or the demotic. See it here? These two symbols right here. But there are also other expressions of the H, as we see in the attestation. So we have to be able to train our eyes. The main thing is learning the different ligatures in words, and that's what's going to make it easier for us to be able to identify certain measures by identifying whole words. So here's a Y here. You see the Y right here, lowercase. So let's go and look for it. We come back to our database tool. Okay. And we go to the Y. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I got HY up there. So it's actually Y. There it is right there. So and all of this correspond with the chart that I created before I even came into contact with this tool, family. Make no mistake about it. If you come over here to the Y, you're going to see it's the same thing in this chart right here as well. Where is it? Where you at, Y? On this chart. Okay. Oh, there it is, right down there. See it? See it says Demotic. See the Y that's being brought forth here and demonstrated? See it here? That's the same Y. When you come here, that's the same Y. Now let's go back up into my other portion here. And we can do this with all of them. I'm just trying to move forward and I don't want to drag everything out. Y'all already got the chart, Scribes, so you'll be able to use this. So in my chart, before I even found this tool, you see the Y, I was accurate in putting together. Y'all seen the H, we showed y'all that a few minutes ago. Everything that I did prior to even having this tool, we didn't even have the tool that I'm showing you now. This was me putting this together without it. They go to G again here. You know, that's being shown over here in this area here. So let's go back over here because I put everything in abjad order again. So we can see here, this was the K because K is interchangeable with G. So this is here. You know, this is the K here. Let's go over here and check it. K. And there it is right there. And you see different other measures up here that have been placed here. So these are things to take in consideration. We can see, you know, this K. It's also, you got to be careful because this can be confused with the letter N as well. So let's go back over here. Let's see the K and the G. See the stretch of it here? You know, that's also a part of it. You know, so let me see here. I'm trying to go back. Okay. Okay, yeah. Then you have again your L and your R, you know, which we have up here. Let's see. Let's go back to our L and R and see what they yield us. Okay, so this is L. Make sure that's not capitalized. Okay, so this is the L. This is the one L here. So let's come over here. There it is right there. Right? So now we want to pull up the R and see what we get. Okay, look across this. Now let's go back over here to our chart. And you see this little dash here, which is almost half what this one is. But this is the other L. None of these don't look like these pictures. That's why I ain't even mention them. We already know the reverse engineering process. This is the Demotic. You know, this is the L, this is the R, but there is a relation to this. This R portion is a portion that look like it come off from the L in and of itself. Remember the la, ra, ra, ra sound, right? So let's go back over here. You know, here's the L. See the same symbol right here? You know, even though it look a little different based on the way it was scribed in the document I found. So let me pull, we seen the L and the R, so to speak. Let me go over here. And I actually put these in two different spots here. So that's the little dash on the R right down there. So here's the L and here's the M that follows this. Let's go back over here in this chart. There's the M, see it? The little backwards C, look like the 3. You know, this is M here, right? So when we come back over here and we hit the letter M, it's going to yield the same thing. So let me hit it real quick. Make sure you can see this. Take this cap off. So that's M. And there you go. See it right there? That's actually both. And it has another attestation here. You know? So let us go back here again. And there it is. You have it there. Again, you know, we can see this is your letter M. Right? Here is another measure here, the letter N. Remember I told you that N can be confusing when we're looking at that G like K because it had that dash line in it. This is why I was saying this, you know. So this is N. Here are a couple of different versions of it. See the Coptic here, Demotic here. So now let us go to N. Go back up here to our tool. We're going to type in the letter N. You can see it. See it right here. And there are different measures here. So you got to be able to train your eye. This is the work that, you know, is something else. This work is something else to be able to do. But we doing it though. We do it. You know, it's easy once we train our eyes. It ain't hard. It's just like any other thing. So I have the end here. See this little curvature here? Let's go back over here. There it is. The curvature with the short dash. You know, these are the main, we'll call it the flagship end of the alphabet. They go your S and your Z again, you know, which are interchangeable with sound shift. This is S, more of the Z expression, but they are still in the same realm of each other. These two right here, they don't look nothing like this pictorial, even though they're trying to throw it in there as a reverse engineered floor. So let's go up here and look up the S and the Z. So we see the S is here, and there it is. See it right there? The symbol here. Let's go back over here. There it is right there. Look like a 4. See that little 4 look right there? Now they got other little versions of it too. Like I said, they improving. They've been adding on. This is good because the more that we see, you know, the more that we have. That's the thing about ancient Kemet. They probably had like 7 different letters that represented one measure, 7 different characters that represented one letter, so to speak. Again, this is the Z form, but this is also an S form. So they interchangeable with each other. So we're going to go to the capital Z, you know, and then we'll show you what it yields. Okay. So let me go here. You got to go through these steps first and familiarize yourself with this before you can even think about going into the papyri. You know, and this is the key. And the way that you do this is by working with these alphabets. So let me go to the capital Z. Okay, capital letter Z here. Okay, and let me scroll it up. Give me a second here. Well, we'll do it this way. I got the wrong thing now. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Oh no. Oh, I remember this too. It's yielding the letter H.
Yeah, so it looks like it didn't want to put that B in there.
Yeah.
Maybe just a lowercase.
Yeah, that's what it did. I remember having to go through this before, but it still yields. Let me see. Okay, I remember us dealing with this before when we went through it a while back. Where's that letter up here? It wasn't. Where is it at? Okay, it wasn't that one. It was. Let's see. Give me 1 second, family. We had it here. Let's see. Okay, not that one. Where is that thing at? What's it there? Okay, not that one. I'm gonna have to dig it up and go back into it. But it's up here. Nevertheless, we can actually use the chart as it is. But this is definitely, we'll do it this way real quick. Because I don't want to go waste up a lot of time trying to find that. But it was one of them letters that was off. As you can see right here in the same chart area. You know, this is the S. When we come back over to this, which one it was? Not that chart. It was this chart here. Let's see here. Okay. Where you at? Not that one there. So that was that there. Oh, here it is right here. I think it was this. Let's see. Okay, that's that one. It's that one. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what's going on. Here we go. Let's see. Right here. There it is right there. It's still in the S section. See it right here? That's it right there. So that's the one I was looking for. So now let me go back over here. But this is definitely in the Z sound because they have the Z as something else when you go into that area in the tool. But this is this symbol and this symbol. You know, this is your Z sound. This is the A again, that other A, that Ein, where you coming from the back of the throat. This is A here. A. So let us go back over here. And this is a lowercase a. See it right there? See the symbols? Yeah. And then this look like a little small C. I'm trying to blow this up so y'all can see this. You would often see this in the Demotic like this here. Look like a little small C. See that? These are the symbols here. Let's go back over here. There you go, right there. These two symbols here. Don't let these pictorials confuse you because you know good and well this ain't this and that ain't that. Even though they tried to pull it. That's what they pull up there in the ligature. You know, so we just showed it there. We could have isolated it, but we just, you know, put it in there. You know, we may go back and do another chart and then just remove all of them. That way you don't have to worry about them, you know, being in your way. So this is the F here, you know, and then we go over here and we type the letter F in and we move that lowercase f, and there it go right there. You know, and you see the different versions of F here, of course. So let us go back. You see the F. You know, they have many different expressions of this F. This one here actually looks similar to the S. But you find all of those, you know, pretty much in these different areas here. Let's see. So, yeah. Yeah, it's here, family. We go to other symbols right there, you know, that we see in the same area. See them here? See them right here? Same thing, family. Make no mistake about it. So, again, we have another S section. We showed you this right here, this symbol here. You see? These are all expressions of S. We have a sound shifting chart that show you all of this stuff too. But we know we just point out alphabet by alphabet. S, Z, Th, That. All of them are expressive of each other in connection, so to speak. This is the Q and the K. So let us go for the K and the Q here. Hold up, let me try to minimize this little screen. I done stretched it out too big. Uh-oh. Yeah, hold up. Let me see. I gotta find the area to try to grab. There we go. Okay, so again, Q and the K. Let's put Q, lowercase q in here. See how it automatically yielded when I put Q in here? It put K up here. See? There it is right there. They got a few more measures in here at a station with the dot on them and everything. So we got to look out for that as well. But this is your main Q symbol right here, Q character in the Demotic right here. You know, as you can see, I put the little reverse engineered portion there. So when we come over here, we have the R and L. We don't have to go over that. We already went over that. This is the S and the H, the sh sound. You see? And in order to get that, you actually have to put a capital letter S here. You see, instead of the lowercase letter S, this is what brings the sh sound. This is it right here. Right here at the top. See what I'm saying? Then we have the D and the T, which we went over that earlier interchangeable when we went over the first D. You know, there's a connection between that one and the other one, but we're going to go here just for the sake of good measure, you know, so that our family can see this. This is the type of work you got to put in, family. See the D right here? That's a portion, that's a D. See all the different expressions of it? We have it here, right here. You know? Yeah. Yeah, they all here, and they show you again that the D and the T is interchangeable here. We can't make this stuff up, family. We cannot make this, so you can use this as a key of decipherment when we get into dealing with the demotic. You can see it by the accuracy here. That's what we had to do. We have to create a key for decipherment, and then it can be utilized in the process. This is a hard expression of an H here. Let's go over here and put capital letter H in and see what we get right here. Okay, here we go. Let me move that over so you can see it. That's the capital letter H, and you see it. Everything it is that we seen over here. Let's go back. See your line. See this particular measure. Now go back over here. You see it. It's all up here, family. You know, we can't make it up. You know, like I say, all I did is try to make it easy. Here's the P, because P is actually interchangeable with F. And in some cases, we know P is interchangeable with B, but we ain't got to address that here. So this is P and F here. You know, don't confuse this F sign too with this sign, because we can see the top portion to throw you off, but look at the bottom portion where it looks more like it comes down to a curve and then goes straight instead of curving around here. So here we have it again. These are other expressions. This is your P and your F. You want to keep an eye out for that. You know, all you got to do is look at, you know, your P. Let's go back here. Hold up, let me move this over so y'all can see me. We're going to go with the capital letter P first. You know, and you look down in here, and you can definitely see the connections right here. That's your capital P. See when you come here, this little thing here. Let's go back over here. See it right here. You know, and if we scroll down, you know, you're going to always find those things, those other letters. So let's go to the lowercase P. Let's see what we yield from that. Same thing right here. We have the similar letters here. We can see it. That's your lowercase P. Let's go back over here. We see it here. We see this one. You know, yeah, it's right there. So that's your F. You know, and you can see your F and your P together here. That's it right there. So, you know, we just showing you the things, and we actually at the last few. This is very important. The X, when you say X, you really isolating this K sound from X. So don't never pronounce this as X when you see that in, you know, different comedic documents. It's always K, the KH or the G, K, G. So you can see the relation between K, X, K, G, G. So you can see the interchangeable measure, G, K, K, K. And this is the actual symbol. It's only one that we see here for the main letter. So let us go over here, and what we would do is put that capital letter in, and then we will find, you know, the actual letter as we scroll down right here. This is the one, you know, that is actually being yielded here. This is one of them, you know. So yeah, you can't make this stuff up, family. Here we have here. See here. Okay. So now let us go to, again, this is X and K, but a different expression of it. Not as hard as this one. So we're going to put a capital X up here in our database. Pardon self, I already had it capitalized. And it will yield us the symbol, which is actually right there. That's it. And notice that this X is being brought forth as a H. You know, so you got to understand sound shifting. A lot of our people don't even know this stuff. See the symbol here? So I had to go through this thing piece by piece to do this. That's it right there. You know, to put it in the, like I say, this alphabetical form. And I chose to put the sound shifting in here so we can be able to pronounce these things. This is the ch sound. J, j. Notice the ch, T, C, H, G, and J. Ch, ch. This is the way you pronounce this. Ch, ch, ch. Metal netcher. Ch, ch. Right? J, j, j. Netcher. Nejet. Unquajet. You see? This is the actual character. Ain't got nothing to do with that picture, but we ain't gonna get into that. So again, we're gonna go over here now and pull up the G. Let's see what we have here. The capital letter G. You know, a long isolated, and go back over here. See the little look like almost an L. And where is it at? Let's see that they put it over here. Pardon self. So yeah, they got a couple of them up here. They put it under the J. I think this was another one too that we had to. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. J. Let's see. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're yielding that as the T too. That's okay. This is actually the version of one measure of it here. That's the T is yielded toward the H. I'm trying to find that actual sign. Okay. And you can actually see it right here. That's one of them. Was that other than that? Okay. Let's go back. You can see the different forms of the T and the S and all that right there, but that's a whole nother measure. Where is that other? Let's see. Let's see if it gives me this here. Okay, yeah, we already did that one. So okay, let's see. Okay, we did that one there too. That's it right there too. This is actually right here. See it here? This is actually where we yielded from the T. That ch sound, this is it right here. Ch. Ch. Okay, let's go back over here. Right there. They call this tethering tools. This is the last one, T and Z here, which I actually ran over this a couple of times when I was up here. So let me go back up here and do it. Lowercase T. And there it is right there. So last but not least, this is where you see that particular form that we found here. See it right there? So, yeah. When you come up here, that's the main attestation right there for this one here. So, T and Z, there are some measures in here. So, we actually was able to create our chart and even go into the Arabic. You know, Alif, Ba, you know, Ga. This is actually Al-Jad order. This is Coptic. And so we was able to use the sound shifting. This is the key to the sound shifting. All of this sound shifting come right down here, and there's a connection between this and the hieratic. So if you can pronounce the hieratic, you can use this same sound shifting chart to also pronounce the Demotic once you know the letters and so forth and so on. All this is also connected to the Arabia. So this is where I was able to connect the sound shifting and come up with a grand drawing as it relates to these things here. So We got it. We know this is our tool right here as well, family. This is our phonetic value, of being pronounced, able to pronounce. So we use the ancient Egyptian Arabic version of pronouncing this because that's the last stage of the language. When it came out of the Coptic and the Arabic, it was Egyptian Arabic. So we use Egyptian Arabic pronunciation because the Roman or the European, they don't know how to pronounce this stuff properly. They just say, well, put an E there. And that's what we're going to do. And then they start so-called pronouncing things, by putting the letter E there. Hold up, let me do this here real quick. I want to go back here. And so what I want to do before I go any further, I want to reach out to my scribes and see what it is that my scribes have to bring forth. Okay, scribes, what do you all think now that you've seen how we had to go letter for letter and we knew that this wasn't a dawn again? We had to do this though, and we have our key. We got our Demotic key. Come forth and demonstrate your portions. Islam, brother.
Yeah, well, all I got to say is that it was a journey. It didn't happen overnight. It took kind of echo. That's all right. Yeah, it took persistence, like you said. You know what I mean? Immersing oneself into this, because when you look at the different, alphabets, then you got the different interpretation of different translations, and man, and then it plays with your mind as well, because there's a spiritual aspect to our alphabets. But yeah, it's all good now. Like looking at it in hindsight, it was worth the journey. Gratitude, Islam.
Gratitude in Islam. Islam. Next scribe.
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam. That Dendra near Curta Bay. I'm just sitting here amazed that when we first went over this, and to even for me, I hadn't heard nothing about no Demotic, heretic, Arabic, none of that. And then to look at and I definitely give you honors, God, man, for all the work that you put into this. I hope our people realize all the work has gone into what you are bringing to us. And when we first went over this, I didn't, I heard what you said, but as you go through it now, step by step by step, because see, when we first did that, I'm like, I have never worked with stuff like this, dealing with the different tools and stuff. I'm kind of old school, so when I went through this, I wasn't used to none of this stuff, dealing with the tools, going in and looking up this and all of that. But I hung in there and I stayed in there, and you really made it easy for us. You did all the work, and as I look at it, what I know, I got to continue to work with myself on remembering the different attestations for each alphabet, like the A. I'm used to the A maybe looking like a little old whatever it looked like, but then it has another demonstration for it. And when we're dealing with the peppers, I have to remember that, because in my mind I think that the A look like this little thing right here, but no, it could be like a backwards C or something, a straight line like you showed us. Don't get confused. I think it was the K with that long line. It looked like an N that can throw you off. So it's just so. I'm just so honored to be in this class and to participate in here, and I thank you for your job, because the way you did with us today, you showing us how to do the Demotic 2, and you showing us how to click on it, and then go back to your 2. Because I was sitting up here saying, now go back to your 2 so I can see. Go back to your 2 so I can see. So gratitude, God, man. I know you and Dr. Edwards Bay, y'all worked on that. You put a lot of time in that chart, showing us in the sound shifting and all that. Oh man, this is such a honor, to be here, and the way you are putting it out here, and I hope our people are enjoying it. Well, I know they are, and I just encourage our people to stay strong, continue. Go back and listen to the playback. Go back and listen and listen and listen, because for me, I have to have that hammer repetition, because sometimes I don't grasp it all at first. But if I hear it over and over again, that helps me. And gratitude, God, man, for all your patience that you have had with us in this class. Islam?
And Islamism, the same methodology that we use with the hieratic, where we can take and go letter by letter. And that's something I wanted to show our family too as well. I'm going to go over here real quick to this tool and show you something. When we go into the corpus, we already know that there are many different versions. We know that we showed our people, and they have dates here. This is all papyri right here, family, telling you what's going on. And we're going to get into, we can actually transliterate it from the document itself. Let's go to the 196 BC, to give our new family a taste of this right here. And there's another measure I'm going to go into in a second, but I just want to take our family here real quick. This is the Rosetta Stone. See what they call it? BME 24. So we're going to click on
Islam.
this. Islam. Okay. Oh, yeah. I got to share it. I got to share it. Okay. Let me share it here. Okay. Here we go. Can you see it now, Grand Secretary of State?
Yes, sir. In the small box to the right.
Okay. And so I'm going to expand that so that we can see it a little bit bigger. Give me a second here. All right. And that's better,
that's
right?
Great. Yep.
It'll be to Allah, Islam. So let me see here. Wait a minute. Here we go. I hate this when this happens. Here we go with the freeze up again. This is what in the, hold up. I'm gonna try to do this right here. I'm gonna see. That's why I like the, this is actually downloaded, but we're gonna see something real quick. We need this thing to move. We need you to move. We don't need you to sit still. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit this here. It's talking about wait. Hold up. We don't want to wait. We want it right now. So I'm gonna hit this here, because sometimes it's a little trick that allows certain things to open up. If you sit it here, it's actually the start page for tabs. Okay, so let's see here. If not, I just, okay, look like I'm getting some activity right here. Now let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to go back. I'm gonna just exit this page real quick, because it'll probably be the best bet right now for a lock the whole computer up. Okay, let's see. If not, I'm gonna have to hit my taskmaster. Okay, look like it's letting me exit it so far, so I'm gonna hit it again and see if I can get. Okay, so we're able to get out of there. So I'm gonna try to go back into this again with a fresher page and see if it let me in there. Y'all notice it says Saiz as well. But okay, let's hit this again and try this thing again. Okay, I see it's still rotating, so I'm gonna let it stop first before I try to move it, because that's probably why it froze up on me. Okay, scroll. I see my little internet signal is, see there? See, that's exactly why I ain't hit it yet. Okay, I'm gonna do this here because I might be able to aid and assist it while it's still active. Okay, so look like we got it up here. Okay, so now let me come over here. You got to know your tools, family. So we can see all of this here. And just by us going over what we went over already, I'm pretty sure that you can recognize letters. This is why I say we got to work with what it is that we demonstrate here. I'm trying to get it to where I can blow it up for you. There we go. You know, like this right here. This look like a letter M, right? Okay.
Yes.
Come on. You know, we can just go all the way across here and pick out certain things that we can see in certain letters, the S's, the, you know, and it's just that easy. The more we work with it, the G's, and so you want to do this and you can identify, you know, what it is you're looking at just by working with the tool. It's just by us going over this and certain things that jump right out of here because we know what we're looking at. And you can go right to the key that I have that I showed you. In fact, I'm gonna do this real quick too. I don't want to punch. Now I'm gonna see if it'll remove. I'm just doing this right here to make sure the page has still got some life in it. Okay, I'm gonna hit wait. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go back over here. You know, and it's simple as this. Going back to the chart that I just showed you that was created. You know, and this is why I say this was M right here, right? So you can come right over here and use the same. Okay, this is it right here. See, this is the M. Then we would go and look to this letter here. Go right over here to the chart that I created. And that's the A. So we see just that quick. This is MA here, right? MA, right? You know, and then you just go letter for letter. We can see the M here. We can see M and S right here, actually. No, this is M and Y part and stuff in between here. Just looking at certain measures. Don't you do that. Hold up. Now let's go back over here again to our alphabet chart. And there's the S right here. But if you look over here, and it's simple as doing that. You can go through here. You can actually start by utilizing this chart right here. Like we did before. Okay, these are two attestations for the A's. So we go right over here to any particular document, which we dealing with the Rosetta Stone, and we look for some A's in here. You know, we just scan each line. They go one right there. Go back over here. See it right there. Go back over here to your document. See your A. You got two A's. That's actually looking like a L to me in an A, but that look like another M right there. The way they drawing that, but you know, we just hold up. Here you go again. They go nothing. That's a G and an M. That's a L. We know that's definitely an L. You know, but I'm looking for specifically the A's. That's an A. That's an A right there. That's an A right there. You know, that's another A right there. That's an A there. Let's go a little further. That's an A there. A there. A there. A there. So hold up. Wait. Okay, so here is another A here. A here. And it's just like that. And once you do that and go through documents, just looking for the A's, I can see them jumping out at me, right? You know, and we go letter for letter. That's what's going to sharpen you. This is the A here. I was looking for this one here. Remember, it looked like a 2 almost, like a cursive 2. You know, so when we come back up here to the chart, see it right there? You know, this is how you train your eye to be able to identify these things. You don't have to sit back trying to come up with no process of memorization. You just got to go through the document there. Look at how they jumping out right there. You know, I can literally, I'm scanning the line and they jumping out at me. You know, both of the A's. See the B right here? I even see the B here. You know, even though we ain't talking about the B right now. You know, I see a S right here, or the Z if you want to call it that there. I see the Y right here. Another S here. The A. You know what I mean? So this is like Y. And I want to say what I identify so far. This is a Y, A, Y, and an A. yeah. And this is the T. This is another, S or Z, if we want to call it that. You know what I mean? So this is how you train your eye, and then you'll be able to write these things. And they even give you, I forgot this part since it's active, they actually give you the attestation from the Rosetta Stone right here, right? You see it? You can see it's exactly as is. See it there? I can't pull over both of them, but y'all see what I'm trying to show you. So now let's see. Let's just go down here to this. This is the Rosetta Stone, the one that Champollion didn't even have in his possession. That's another thing. Champollion did not even have. Let me test my Scribes real quick. Scribe, what letter is that right there?
F.
That's right. And also, you can actually see it too. When you scroll over, and this is a good thing. This is even better. See, Shesip? This is Shesip right here. Right? You can actually see it. Yetter. Remember we say like, it's M. See it there? They go another S. So this is going to be good right here when it comes to trade. This is actually easier than the other stuff. Remember the G up here? See the G? There it go. See the S up here in the end of this? What in the world they got going on there? But they got a whole bunch of it. See Shint? They go to T right there. You can obviously see that. So yeah, it's all up through here. Now let me go down here and see what happens when we transliterate this thing. But this is going to show you exactly what was going on here. Let's pull some of this out of here. This actually tell you about the Rosetta Stone, how it was written, and everything. You know what? I forgot I got the little transliterator up here. I keep getting ready to go to Google Translate. There it go right there. We're going to translate this to English and see if it do it for us. Come on. Act right now. Be modest.
I see the word Ptolemy's in there as well, and priest.
Yep, it's all up in here. We can identify that Ta and everything. Amun, it's up in there. That's because our eyes train for it. We can see they talking about the temple and feasts and everything else up in there. Let me see. I'm going to see this here. I'm trying to get this thing to translate. It don't want to act right now. That's all right. We're going to go ahead and go through it the old school way, because sometimes it yielded, sometimes it don't. So we're going to go ahead and go over here real quick so y'all can see what this thing is about here. We're going to go to our old Google Translate. I don't know why it ain't acting through this apparatus. So we're going to go here. Okay, there you go right there. Google Translate. Hit the tab. Throw this information in here. And it'll tell you, look at what it says. This is what it's talking about, the Rosetta Stone. For those who just been looking at it, don't know what it means. The regional year, 9 day for Xandikos, which according to the Egyptian calendar corresponds to the month to a Peret, the day 18 of the king youth who appeared as a king of his father's in his father's place. It says, the one of Uraeans, his honor great, who strengthened Egypt by making it beautiful. They want you to believe that the Ptolemy made Egypt beautiful. So I guess it was ugly before they came in there. Whose heart is charitable to the gods, who is above his enemies. Who you think the enemies is? They talking about the native Egyptians, who has made beautiful, because these are the people that conquered Kemet now, who has made beautiful the lives of men. They done come in there and save Egypt from itself. That's what they want you to believe. Same thing that the Roman did with us. They say they saved the Africans from themselves by bringing them into slavery. This is their critical race theory, demonstration. But it says the Lord of the years are said like Ta and Ta Tenin, like Ray, the king of upper districts and of the lower districts, and the son of the gods who love their father whom Ta chose. And this is what we know, that there's a grand divergence, because we know good and well Ptolemy didn't exist during the time of Ptah. You understand? This is what you call superimposing yourself into somebody else's history and claiming it as your own. Or they was gloating over the kill, right? You know, son of the gods who loved their father whom Ptah chose, and whom Re, the living one, gave victory in image of Amun. Look at now, Amun, the son of Re, Ptolemy, ever living, loved by Ptah. See this foolishness? This is what they had the Egyptian priests, you know, basically forging into the document. And this is the same thing Champollion is out here using to call himself deciphering the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Islam.
This is insane. Go ahead, Sister Curtis Bay.
I don't know if something wrong with my computer. I hear you reading, but I still see, look like it didn't translate on my end. Maybe it's something wrong with my computer.
Let me go back. Oh, it didn't translate out of the language on your computer to the English?
I still
okay, I know what's going on here. We're gonna do this right here. Let me do this.
I hear you reading the English part, but I'm like, what's that? I don't see it.
I see what's going on. I'm gonna share the entire screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just give me a second. Thank you.
I was like, man, what did I do? Did I do?
No, you didn't do nothing wrong. But it's good. Here it is, right here. So
you see okay. Right here, right? Oh yeah, wow.
Okay. So now watch this. It says, Ptah chose to whom Re, the living one, gave victory. It's an image of the sun. So they're trying to say that Ra and Ptah gave Ptolemy a victory over the native Egyptians, what they're saying. They celebrate. The son of Re, Ptolemy, ever living. How did even Re and Ptolemy be considered in the same sentence? Re Ptolemy, ever living, loved by Ptah. Who said Ptah loved Ptolemy? Or this new Re Ptolemy that they talking about? The appearing God whose goodness is beautiful. So you see they saying Ptolemy is the appearing God. He the new God. But then they talking about son of Ptolemy and Arsinoe. And we showed you how Ptolemy and Arsinoe look. The gods who loved their father and the priests of Alexander. See what I'm saying? Y'all know this ain't got nothing to do with ancient Kemet. So yeah, the European would claim this and try to make this their own. See, the saving gods. They don't want to save Egypt from itself. They want you to believe that. Of sibling gods, beneficent gods, and the gods who love their father, the king of Ptolemy. Appearing God, whose goodness is beautiful. Atos, the son of Atos. We showed you who all these people are. You know, we showed you exactly who these people are. You know, all these people that are being mentioned here ain't got nothing to do with ancient Kemet. You know, and we showed y'all before. We got a whole video where we went on this demonstration. You know, all you got to do is go and type it in, and this information is right up here. Let's see. And this right here, it's just killed the whole argument. See, this is why I don't like other search engines, because they don't yield what you want them to yield. So this is why I love Google, because Google ain't playing. See, I put Atos in there. I didn't even put the right thing. Let's do it here. Now watch what happens when I put the Google in there. Let's see here. Let's see. Where in the world is that thing at? Because it normally put it in here. Let's see. Let's do this here. Might have to add a little bit. Yeah, we can help them out. There it is. Right there. So this is Atos right here. You know, this is all Atos. Atos Dios. This is terrible. But they also have some Greek, like coin demonstrate. Let me see what happened. I might be able to get there by hitting this. We already got Atos up there, so we got them. Let me hit this here, see more, and it'll let us in here. Yeah, here we go. This is what we was talking about right here. You know, this is a shame. The Atos Zeus, You mean to tell me this is what we talking about in Ptolemy document, and y'all trying to say that got something to do with ancient Kemet? We can't take these people serious. You know, this is Atos Dios right here. That's being mentioned. Atos being mentioned right here now in Google Translate. We translate what's in the Ptolemy document. You know, so all this stuff is in here praising these people. You know, the priests who go into the sanctuary to clothe the gods and scribes of the book in the temples of Egypt. You know, look at King Ptolemy, ever living, beloved of Ptah. Who said Ptah loved Ptolemy is what I want to know. The priest that was forced to write that nonsense under duress in the threat of death. You know, and it even get down in here and tell you it's the whole thing here. You know, look at all of that. This is a transliteration of everything. In this last part right here, I think this is the portion where it talk about, you know, the stele. It give you history. I'm going to just get to the bottom of it. We're going to probably have our scribes go into this, you know, for homework, you know, so we can expose this document that people are praising as a decipherment tool of the language of the ancient Egyptians that ain't got nothing to do with ancient Kemet. Okay, the temples of Egypt are in every temple, and this is the last few lines. They are to be called priests of the appearing God. So these are going to be priests of Ptolemy, basically, either appearing God, whose goodness is beautiful. In addition, it says to other priestly titles, and they should write it in all the records of the deeds, and they should write the office of the priest of the appearing God, whose goodness is beautiful, upon their rings, and engrave it upon them. It shall also private persons who desire it shall be permitted to cause such a golden shrine of the appearing God, whose goodness is beautiful, mentioned above, to appear to be kept in their places. And they shall annually perform festivals and processions described above. So this is what they're going to put in processions and festivals to honor Ptolemy and them, that it may be known that those who are in Egypt honor God who appears, it says, whose loving kindness is beautiful as is fitting, and the decree shall be written on the stele of hard stone in hieroglyphics, Demotic, Greek, and it stele shall be placed in the temples of the first and the second and the third rank in the statue of the living king. Now this stele that they talking about being written in hard stone hieroglyphic and Demotic in Greek, it didn't say nothing about no hieratic up in here, did it? Now watch this right here. This is it. This is what they're talking about. This is Rosetta talking about them creating the stone. So we already know about a stone in this translation right here in and of itself. It definitely wasn't created by the ancient Egyptians. They letting you know it was created by them. You understand? I know good and well they ain't gonna hide the Rosetta Stone. They know better. They know how the Rosetta Stone look. Look at that. They got computer programs up here. But see, even your boy, Champollion, he never had a physical Rosetta Stone when he was dealing with his so-called decipherment. He had a copy. He had never seen the Rosetta Stone with, you know, he never seen the physical expression of it, so to speak. So this is the same thing that we just showed you in the document that we translate, dealing with the Google translation. You know, this is the Greek portion, as they like to call it, which we know come from Hecopter. This is the Demotic portion, second ancient, and these are the bogus hieroglyphics they done created up here. These Ptolemaic hieroglyphs, right at the top, right here, created by the Ptolemies. You see, so anybody that try to trick you, you know, and make you believe that this was created by the ancient ancestors, they lying to you. We got it right here. We got the proof to expose this, and go right back over here to the translation now. Where it's at. Go back to Google Translate. They just told you. And the decree shall be written on the stele of hard stone in hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. See what I'm saying? This is terrible. This is terrible. So we know who created the Rosetta Stone. So if this was created by them, long after the ancient Egyptians, were gone. Because we know the Ptolemies came during the 33rd dynasty, so to speak. The ancient Egyptians had been gone thousands of years. So make it make sense, people. You understand? I don't know what it's going to take to get their mind right, but I'm going to stop right there because, like I say, we're going to have our scribes to go further into it. Islam. At this time, we're going to call on our Grand National Secretary of State.
We Islam Moorish can, having already risen, giving praise and honor where due. Honor to this class, to Act One, to you, Dr. Shahid, and my scribes, and our family online. This has just been such a powerful class. Much gratitude to you for going through that database, also going through the key in reference to the Demotic language so we could go back and forth and see the relationship between the actual Demotic letter and what was on the database in its different forms and attestations. And just being able to look at the transliteration and the actual words that come forth, that's indeed a big help coming from that tool. And I'm glad you went back over the Rosetta Stone again, because I too really can bring it a part of self when we have that repetition. And when you brought it forth from the actual source material and what they say in their own words, and it just brought it back to what we're going through now, where we went through the physical slavery and the prophet spoke about the mental slavery, the condition that our people are in now. So we're looking at the Stockholm syndrome, wanting to follow after the slave master, similar to that. By the time they beat you down, take you off the count, etc., and make sure that you can't teach your descendants what the truth is. Now that's all you know is the remix. So it is a beautiful blessing to be able to go back and trace ourselves back to see what exactly happened, because when we just look at the Rosetta Stone and get the explanation from Rome, they can tell us anything, of which in going back, we see that this is the case. So this is a grand measure. It's dealing with a total 360 degrees, and it's a whole different demonstration when you're actually putting these letters together, being able to listen to the voice of your ancestors as far as what happened, not his story. So much gratitude for you, all the work that you do, and bringing forth these lessons in a form that's not on a rush level, and also these assignments so that we can make this applicable to the self. Gratitude more. Definitely appreciate the blessing. Peace and love.
In Islam, and peace and love, Grand Secretary of the State. It ain't no strange happenings. So yeah, we try to do it in a way to where we bring it right back around to our people. Allah is leading on a victory sure so that they can also pick up where we left off at. What we gonna do at this time, we gonna call for our National Grand Sheikh, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael, if he's present. Islam, you there, Sheikh? If you're speaking, Sheikh, *6, muted. Unmute. Hold up. Let me see. I'm going to do this here. Islam. Hold up. Wait a minute. I just unmuted your Sheikh, but you muted yourself back.
Can you
there
hear
you
me
go.
now?
Oh, yeah. We can hear you now, Grandma. Islam.
I'll praise due to Allah. Honors to his love thought. Our brother man prophet number Drew Ali. He thanked the brother prophet for us to be free. It's been a grand young having a little spot in there keeping up. It's on me though, getting to because I know the third portion. I have also a it's in reference to this called the Letters of a Supermaster. You know, and it's definitely in accord to what's being instructed of us here in the real. We pray that we be able to grasp the significance and the importance of all that we hold on to and part away from to make us better practitioners as well as students of the committee and adapt European instruction, give us more idea about the things that we need to do coming out of our executive ruler school, Islam.
And Islam, Sheikh. Yes, sir. Gratitude. And yeah, we definitely on the manifest, and bringing this measure stage by stage and lesson by lesson, so to speak, or brick by brick, to bring our people into a more comprehensive aspect of this drawing. And we definitely have grown in a lot of the cycles. And these tools that we have now, being more refined, our people gonna pick up on this in this cycle of dealing with the language. They're gonna pick up on this particular cycle because we circle the 7 in all these lessons. They're gonna pick up in this cycle on this language just like they have our hieratic. And when we come back around again, because we have to do this research outside of even dealing with the class in order to really immerse ourselves in this information, and therefore be able to read effectively. Again, we're embarking upon a journey that has never been demonstrated. And so praise be to Allah for giving us the eyes to see and the heart to sympathize with the truth. And there's much more. We're going to have our scribes go into this Rosetta Stone and really show you what's going on in here, in our next cycle. So it's going to be a powerful drawing. We're going to touch on our drawing as well, but this is powerful. So I'm going to actually go into it our next class, and then our homework going to be even greater. So, all right. At this time, we're going to open up the floor again for our scribes, as we get ready to take this demonstration and close it out. Islam, scribes.
Islam, grand class. I got a lot out of this class. Looking for, and when you was showing us how you can just pick out, looking at your chart, I can't wait to put that your chart side by side with that papyri, and the way you were showing us, just go through each line and find all the A's, all the B's. I'm gonna work on that. I'm definitely gonna work on that, and to train my eye to see, to get familiarized with it, because it's coming. It's getting better and better. The more we stay in it, the more we go over it, the more you use that hammer repetition and showing us. I know for myself, and I can speak for I know the rest of the scribes too. It's getting better and better every day. As we continue to immerse ourselves and study, It is. I'm beginning because when you was going, I said, I saw that letter. I saw that letter. Oh, I saw that letter. But I didn't have your chart up there beside me, so I had to put them side by side. But I remember. I said, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. So gratitude, God, man, peace and love.
And gratitude, peace and love. We give honors to you for that drawing, sister. Islamism without the schism. All right, Brother Marvin, that was Bay.
Islam, gratitude.
Islam, gratitude.
Yes, Dr. Marvin Elvis Bay. Well, I know that your intent has always been to uplift fallen humanity, which is, as a Moorish American, which is part of our mission, is to uplift fallen humanity. And as we use the our ancient ancestors' communication or language, the alphabets, insect, commit, it just a beautiful thing to say witness our history in the unveiling, so to speak, because it has been attempted burying of everything that we were about. And as we go through this process of unveiling, and then we got to go back through, it's just a tremendous task. It's kind of wearing me out, really. But we have to continue to strive. And I just say gratitude for you for your persistence. And keeping us engaged, keeping me engaged. Gratitude, God, man, for all you do. Islam and peace.
And Islam and peace. Praise be to Allah, brother. The race is not to the swift, but the one endured to the end. Yes, sir. We give honors to you, brother. All right. We want to just say gratitude for everything that the scribes have brought on the manifest. And our persistence is everything. So we want to say, keep up the good work. We definitely have a grand measure to bring forth in our next drawing. And we're going to go into this Rosetta Stone, again, to show you that it ain't got nothing to do with what our ancestors represented. It actually has everything to do with the subjugation of our ancestors. And how can you use something and celebrate, such a relic to act as if it was a benefit to us when it was used to oppress our ancestors and celebrate and gloat over the kill, so to speak? Don't make no sense. But I guess when you call yourself an Egyptologist, you go for anything. Let us call forth our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Dendra Curta Bay, so that she may take us into the heights of divinity. Islam.
Islam. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By the order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, Moors. Great class.
Grand, grand.
Grand class.
Islam, family. Islam isn't without the schism.
Islam. Grand.
Praise to Allah.
Praise Allah.
Allah is leading on and victory is sure.
Islam.
Unqua Jets and Neb, life, health, and prosperity be upon you all.
Islam. Gratitude.
Honors to our family as well who checked in, anti-American, American, the native Basco. Want to give honors to Born Dog, JJ 7000, Tariq Bay, Noble Brian, and honors to all of y'all for your participation, family. You know, gratitude, and we'll see you in the next session. Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam. Gratitude.
Peace and love.
Peace and
Islam.
love.
Also to our National Grand Sheikh for sitting in. Islamism.
Islam.
Peace and love.